What's up, guys? David here, back with Super Sketch. I am about to do a video on making a custom exhaust for this Mercury Sable. So this guy, you can see he's all set up for like competition speakers. He has like the high output alternator. He had 214s. They're out of here right now, and he's gonna put new ones in, more expensive ones. But like, you know, it's all set up with the big fuse block and, you know, the big Skookums grounds. Even like the shut off so it doesn't drain the battery in the back. But we're doing a custom exhaust for this car. This is also a bodywork car. I should be recording a video on this car. I'm replacing these rusted out areas. I've already done the other side. I did spray it with black, but that isn't the point. He's going to take it to a body man and get it professionally painted and stuff. But here we go. That's the difference. All this was shit, but I cut it out, like right here somewhere, and then welded all this in new. Drilled out all the spot welds all the way around, mocked it up, and got it welded in there. It looks alright. But, you know, once it gets all blocked out and stuff, then it'll look even prettier. But, so, why is this, we doing a custom exhaust? Well, they'll make performance parts for this car, but it's cool that he wants to build it, and it makes it awesome. Even here, I don't know if you guys would want to see a video, but this is a 73mm throttle body from BBK that I retrofitted to fit this. This engine is a 3.5 quad cam V6, which is almost exactly the same as the 3.7 they put in the Mustangs, which made 300 horsepower or something, and this one only makes like 260 or 270. The difference is the Mustangs were stroked and they had variable valve timing on the exhaust and intake, and I believe this one only has it on the exhaust. But regardless, he wants to build it. Teach his own, you know. I like it because it's something different and everything's going to be custom. It's literally going to be one of a kind because I'm going to weld up my own downpipe, so nobody else in the world is going to have my downpipe because I'm going to make it. But like even this throttle body here, it was a pain because A, it didn't want to fit. I went and pulled a junkyard intake and I cut it and made this guy fit. What I had to do is I had to overbore these holes on the throttle body, which this is like a $400, $500 throttle body, and he let me drill out these holes to get it to fit. And I got it to line up, got it to bolt on, and then the connector didn't work. It's the same style plug, but it didn't work. It didn't just plug straight in, you know, and work. So what I did is I got on the interwebs and I downloaded the wiring schematics for both the Sable and the Mustang, and then come to find out after looking at the diagrams that all the wires were there that we needed, but they were pinned differently. And since these pins are really small, I didn't want to take them all out. So what I did is I actually cut all the wires, and like here's my number 1 wire. I had to go from brown to yellow purple, and then, you know, number 2 had to go from blue red to blue green. Yellow went back to brown here on number 3, and so on and so forth, so I can get the ECU to line up with all these, and it worked. And I was kind of shocked because the only difference was this car had a manual throttle positioning sensor, and the BBK, when I took it apart, didn't. It has a little computer chip in there that reads out. But I mean, it worked. I mean, worst case scenario, it didn't work, and we were gonna try something else. But we have a tuner for it. It's on a 91 tune. We're gonna get it professionally dyno tuned. Eventually, I'm gonna pull the heads and I'm gonna rebuild them, and we're gonna cam it. But for now, we got the 73mm throttle body on, which is cool. I don't know if I need to make a video for somebody, because somebody's going to want to know how to do that. I don't know, not necessarily for the Mercury Sable, but for just on how to do that, how to go about something like that. But so what are we doing next? We have shorty headers. He went and bought some shorty headers, sitting over here on the workbench. But if you're looking, this is a transverse mounted engine, right? Front wheel drive, transverse mounted. It's looking this way. These headers, these shorties are for the V6 Mustang, and obviously that's mounted north-south, and the exhaust would go this way. So it bolts on, and then the where they connect goes out towards the rear of the car, but not on this one. So they're gonna dump like this. We're gonna get them to bolt on the engine like this, and I'm gonna make my custom downpipe to bolt up to a stock exhaust, which we are gonna redo. They don't make a like cat back exhaust. We're gonna do a cat delete anyway. I don't know if you can see me here, but they don't make a performance exhaust for this. And here's the start of the downpipe right here, and this could get reused. By all means, this could get reused. You know, the little flex shaft here, the thing that always leaks when you hear those Hondas going by. This could get reused, but you know what? We're here, so let's fucking go ahead and let's make it at a 2.5 inch. Look at the diameter difference there. Look how much bigger this pipe is than this pipe, right? So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna have to do the downpipe anyway. From normally the cats bolt up here, and then the cats, they come up and they bolt to the manifold here. But we're gonna get rid of the cats, and I'm gonna build my own downpipe coming off those shorties, coming connecting into here. And that was the original plan. But then after talking to him for a bit, it's like, we're here, we're doing this. How about we just do the whole thing at a 2.5? And he's down. He's willing to pay for it, and we can do it. And I'm gonna show you guys how to do it. It's not that hard. It's a big set of Legos, you know. Not necessarily because they don't all just fit in correctly, and we're gonna have to weld it up is gonna be the thing that holds you back. But if you don't have a welder, but honestly, you can go to China Freight. I call them China Freight, but Harbor Freight, and you can get like a $100 flex core welder and do this. It's gonna look like shit, but it's gonna work. It's gonna get it done, right? I went ahead and I bought a nice welder, a nice Miller welder, but you could do this with $100 China Freight because this exhaust tubing isn't thick, so you don't need a lot of power. But how we're gonna accomplish this is we're gonna go and get a whole bunch of 90-degree bends like this, or use if we can have them. And like this is probably the most complex shape that we're gonna have. So if you look at it from the top down, it's a big U. And this one sucks because what I'm gonna have to do is like I'm gonna take this and I'm probably gonna cut it like right here, and then just think if I was in reverse, I'll flip this one over and then weld those two together. You see how that'll work? If we cut here and leave this, and then we'll take this end and we'll cut it and we'll blow like that, and it will make that piece. A little bit easier to see is look at this little S here, this S turn. See how it curves in and then curves back out to make it straight? Well, if you look here, let me go to the other side because that's the way the exhaust is going to sit. That looks about right, doesn't it? Up until what, here, and then this keeps turning, but then this turns back out. What happens when I cut it right here, and then I'll take this piece and I'll flip it over this way? Well, shit, that looks right. That's gonna look right. So pretty much it's just gonna be doing that to make all this work. In regards to coming off the headers, it's gonna be a little bit more in depth, just because Ford does this flange here. So I need to get these flanges. We can get them new, but they make you pay the crap out of them. And then this guy flares out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cheat, and I'm gonna go to the junkyard, and I'm gonna get these flares. I'm just gonna cut them up, boom, and then I'll have the flange and the flare already, and that's my plan. So if you look, this would be the adjacent side. So it's just a flange and a flare. You see how the tubing's flared out? So that little cup that was on the other side is going to sit in there, and this clamps them together, and that's what you get your seal. Ford uses this instead of exhaust gaskets. The only crappy part is these flanges are big. Even this one's not big enough. This flange isn't big enough for here. Maybe because it came off the Cat, but I'm going to go rob them off straight off the manifolds, like off a GT, a Mustang GT, or, you know, F-150. And that's going to get us done. But we're going to fabricate up a custom exhaust, and we're going to make these work. I want to be able to make headers eventually, but I couldn't afford a TIG welder, so we're going to make these shorties work. And it's going to be something cool. It's a little bit more in depth in the manufacturing, but it's actually kind of easy. So I'm going to go ahead and bring you guys along with me, and I am going to show you what it takes to make a custom downpipe for your car. This one's going to be a little bit more difficult than most, just because the amount of room that we have is limited with it being a transverse and these coming off the way they are. Worst case scenario, I hack this off and go get it welded. The reason why I can't weld this is stainless steel, and my type of welder doesn't do stainless steel. You honestly need a TIG welder and 100% argon to weld this, but I'm just going to get it done with what I got. So I'm going to try to making it harder on myself doing it this way. Nothing about this is going to be easy because it's all custom, but it's cool, and he's willing to pay me to do it. So, man, you guys get to see me do it, and I'll teach you something along the way. Besides that, we've already tuned it on a 91. We got that throttle body to work, which is cool because it wasn't even made for this car. Besides that, I think he's going to have me do a whole 2.5-inch exhaust, custom made, because they don't make anything for this car. So we're going to do a 2.5. Instead, I think it's 1 3/4 what he has now, but we're going to do a 2.5, and he already has a MagnaFlow on it, so it's going to sound amazing. We're cat delete, screw the O2 sensors. We have, I live in a state where we don't have emissions laws, so it's not really important for me to meet emissions. They don't check my car every year. They're fine with it. So, you know, all the cat deletes and all the race pipes that we could have. And we'll just turn off the check engine light for the O2 sensors and his tuner. We've already adjusted took off his limiter, his rev limiter, adjusted his shift points. And that's just all stuff that we do by, you know, the butt dyno. And, but when we're all said and done and we got the heads rebuilt and it's cammed, it's going to go to a dyno and it's going to get dyno tuned, and we're going to see what it makes. We're hoping north of 350 horsepower to this little V6. We'll see what we can get out of it, but right now we're doing all the supportive mods. We're making it so we can get more air in and we can get the exhaust out faster. And everything else that we go with the cams and the tunes, we're gonna see how much power we make out of it. But for now, I need to get started. I'm probably gonna take off the cats and we'll see what's up. We'll see how good the headers fit. He's picking up the flanges for me, so I don't have to do it at the junkyard because I don't want to go to the junkyard. But, you know, we'll see what we can get done. Talk to you guys later.